Okay, this is Adam Gusso from Satan and Adam. I'm back at you with another lesson from the crossroads where old Sardis Road meets some rambling road here in Oxford, Mississippi. We're going to do a little bit more work on the two-hole draw and on finding ways of thickening your tone by releasing your mouth a little bit and letting a little bit of the one-hole and the three-hole into your two-hole. The reason this is important is because whether you play lip pursing or tongue blocking, when you do that, you can begin to keep a rhythm on the harp. And I want to actually play a little bit for you and then tell you what I'm doing, and let's sort of explore that. I'm going to use just the three-hole draw, the two-hole draw, and the one-hole draw. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play rhythms that kind of cross 3 beats against 2, and well, you'll hear what I'm doing. I'm going to try to stress the unexpected beat. And this is a kind of playing that's really useful if you have what's called a breakdown in a song where the whole band cuts out, say, and it's just you on the harp. This kind of stuff is an interesting thing to do. So, here we go. Now, if I try to do that kind of stuff, and I don't have the technique in which I'm going to do the 2-draw and then move back and forth between 2-draw and 1-2-3 draw, if I don't have that technique, it's going to sound like this. I can't even do it because I don't have the... Now, that's all I'm going to show you today. That one, if you can get that, you've gotten a lesson's worth of stuff in that one little move. Now, what did I do? I didn't just go... See, if you're a player who knows how to bend the 2-draw, you know how to get a good, clean 2-draw without a bend. Okay, you got 2 notes you can play. What's your move? What moves do you have off of those notes? You can go... Yeah, back down to the 1. But how can you keep time? That sounds wimpy. Now, a few lessons back, I showed you how to go... Or you can do it tongue blocking, with your tongue on the piece of wood right here, and on the 2-hole draw, and kind of lift it up a little. Lift it off the 1, excuse me. Well, that's right away, that's much more interesting than... Right? So I'm going to do mine lip pursing. But now I'm going to add something new. I'm going to add the bent 2, and then I'm going to fill... I'm going to go bent 2 and release it to 2-draw with no bend, and I'm going to fill the space between those 2 notes. This is a subtlety. This is something Nat Riddles did that I wasn't getting from the records. My teacher. You hear what I did? I didn't just go... I went... Now let me break it down really slowly and you'll start to hear it. So what I'm doing is I'm hitting the bent note, getting a good tone on it. And as I release it, I also release my embouchure a little bit. And I get the 1, 2, and 3 chord coming in a little bit. But then I tamp it down real quick and center back on the 2-hole draw without a bend. That's 3 different notes in a sense, but that middle thing it's a kind of gray zone. If I do it real slow, it's hard to do real slow. Now, there are guys, my friend Dennis Grunling, I've been mentioning several times, but there are guys who can do all of this stuff tongue blocked and bend that to... I have a hard time doing that. I'm not as good as those guys. Okay, that's tongue blocked. I just go... So when you do that, And then of course you can start to play around with stuff. So here are some variations. Let's start to work it into a chord rhythm. I'm actually sliding back down to the 1 draw. Hear that? It's hard to, when you slow down a rhythm, often you have to change it slightly, and by the same token, when you speed it up, you have to compress little bits out of it in order to make it flow. If I'm going faster, now I can do it, but I like a mid-range. Here's a variation. Let's roll up off that 2-hole draw, that bent 2, up onto the 3 and back down. Let me alternate them. Now let me tell you why that's a good thing to do. It's sort of a call and response within your own harp rhythm, right? You do one thing, then you do a variation. The two pieces of your harmonica thing are calling back and forth to each other. Isn't that neat? Okay, now, so what did I do to make the rhythm that I started this all off with? Let's just do that little bit. Now, even that little bit, you hear that? I'm not going, if you don't have this technique I'm showing you, that's what you're going to do. That's dead. Nothing going on. That's a tennis shot by Venus Williams with no English on it, no spin. You got to go. So what am I doing there? I'm starting on an open chord. I'm tonguing 1, 2, 3, and then I'm narrowing down my mouth and tonguing 2-hole draw. You see why I talk about these things as the sort of the machine language of blues harmonica? Nobody ever stops to take the time. Nobody who does these techniques stops to take the time to just say, this is what is going on. A lot of them don't even know they're doing it. They've just figured out over time that that's the way to make the best sound. So if you take this and you practice it, it's going to take a while to work it into your playing. Right? Okay, so now if I want to do that rhythm I was doing at the beginning. So there, I went from 1, 2, 3 up to the 3-hole. And then I added a little of the 1, 2, 3 and went back down to the 2. Just hear those 4 notes? You see, and you know that stuff's going on in there. Your ears are good enough to tell that when you go, you're not doing it. So just that rhythm's good. Just that much. So there's 4 places in that little pattern that I played where I'm doing that little 1, 2, 3 thing. On the way down from the 3-hole, and then I'm, of course, doing a little bit of chord thing, making it quack. That's the end of this lesson. I've gone over time. I'll see you next time. We're going to work on a lot more things. Bye-bye.